for Check TV to get set up here. So we want to get this on the news. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have to stop meeting like this. Hey, look, I invited a few people up, along with Check TV, to try to get this issue on the map for this government. First of all, I want to just say, look, I know you're angry, and I'm angry. We don't take it out on Island Timberlands employees. The responsibility for this mess, the restricted access to the lands we've always used, rests with this government. They took all this land out of the public tree farm license back in 2004. They gave it to Weyerhaeuser for free. They should have paid back hundreds of millions of dollars to the taxpayer. One of the few stipulations that was made was that the companies had to keep these roads, these access routes that have been used for generations, open to the public.
Yeah.
And whether you're hiking or fishing or bird watching or quadding or skidooing, these roads, these accesses have been used for generations, and according to the law are supposed to be still available to us. And the government's caving in to maybe corporate pressure. They're forgetting about the public that they're supposed to represent. And that's just not on, ladies and gentlemen. So look, we're supposed to have Section 39(1) of the Act says the access to these roads, to these access points, are supposed to continue. It's part of our culture. It's part of the way we live. It's part of our economy. And the government doesn't give a damn. I cornered the minister on this last spring, Minister Thompson. He said he'd do something. He didn't. I cornered him again. He didn't. I wrote him a letter. So I've got a paper trail. It's in May. I got an answer in August. People were kicked out of their campsites that they've used for decades. And in the meantime, the answer said, yes, you're right. It says in the law that these areas are supposed to be open to all of us, but the company says they're putting gates up. Well, what does that mean? His job is to enforce the law and protect the public interest. So, again, I think there are people from the Alpine Society, from horse riding groups, from quad groups, from snowmobile groups, nature watching, hiking groups. Sometimes you don't all see eye to eye on these issues. Today, we stand in unity on this issue. We need to make this Liberal government take care of the public interest, not their own interests, not corporate interests, but our interests.
Is it true that China Corp bought 10% of Island Timberlands for $110 million about 8 or 9 months ago, and nobody said anything about it? And now they're exporting those logs and keeping the gates shut so that we can't, so they don't know what anybody's doing. Is that true?
Well, the word I've heard is that gates are going up so they don't see what's happening behind them. Now, I don't know that for a fact. Just so you know,
China, we're not allowed in, they are.
8 or 10 years ago, they put the first gate up restricting access to the Ash River Valley. And I went in with the press then. It was Minister Coleman. He wouldn't do anything. When we put it on TV, the gate opened. So we won one. But in the last year, there's been a flurry of this. And it's been a year now since I've been trying to get the minister doing something, and he's done nothing at all.
Well, this road here, if there's an accident below, people can drive around and get out of here.
It's an access point. It's a
safety
issue.
Too.
You're right.
Same with Cromount's Trail.
Well, you know what? You go up. I've done Mount Arrowsmith. I was involved in supporting the regional park that was created up there. Now we've got a company controlling access to our parks. That's just, you can't do that. It's nowhere else is that done, and the government they've facilitated this. They've allowed this to happen, and we have to turn it back, because this is what we do. It's not just the Alberni Valley, but just so you know, that was 80,000 hectares that was pulled out of the public tree farm license and handed over to a private company for free. That company donated $500,000 to the BC Liberal Party just before that happened. You got to take the money out of politics. Listen to money. Well, if they only listen to money, then they're going to have to shake their head. They better listen to us, because we're the people that vote. And you know what? We got to get these guys out of there. The public interest is who every government is supposed to protect. It doesn't matter what your political stripes are. This shouldn't be a political issue. This is public interest. This is what we do. This is why we live where we live. This is what brings people in, that makes our economy go. It's about so much more than just gates being put up. It's about a government that's derelict in their duty. And we get this on the news. We pressure them. I'll raise it in the legislature again, and let's see what happens there. I know there are other people that want to talk today. Many of us were stuck in traffic. I have a petition that is being handed to me with, I understand, close to 5,000 signatures. I'll be delivering this into the Legislative Assembly tomorrow afternoon. Thank you so much. I'm parked like a kilometer that way. And I'm so pleased there's this level of support. I know there's people here from as far as Victoria, maybe further, but thank you for making this trek. It's not just about this region. It's about our lives, what we do, our quality of life for the whole island. It's what we're about, and you can't gate that. You can't gate that, I'm telling you.
No, right on. No lock gates.
So what's the
Change.org, keep the gates open.
Change.org, keep the gates open. So if you want it, they can still be signing these electronically. Keep them coming. I'll keep delivering them until they shut down the legislature and we go into an election. This is an election issue. Let's make it one today. Let's make it one.
The government needs to realize that tourism on Vancouver Island brings in $1.7 billion to the local communities.
Yeah.
With lack of access to our private or public lands, this directly impacts the economy of Vancouver Island. This directly impacts families, and it takes jobs away from the communities, the small communities on Vancouver Island. And we're not going to stand for that.
Excellent. So, for those that didn't hear, tourism on Vancouver Island, the great natural wonders we have is what draws people. That's a $1.7 billion a year industry. That's correct? $1.7 billion. That the government, they should be welcoming access to these lands like we've always had. It's about driving the economy, and we need to diversify that economy, and it's being shut down. So I'm a politician. I will talk forever. Look, we got people here that have come a long way to say a few words, so I'd like to maybe give up this spot and thank you again for being here. Thank you so much.
I was one of, I'm assuming many now, that was locked behind a gate. Sold out, but I was one of many that was locked behind a gate, Island Timberlands gate, about a week and a half ago. This seems to be a fairly common occurrence at this point in time. We were just lucky somebody came along and let us out, but I've heard many guys, actually Brian is another, he got locked behind a gate, he had a long walk out. This in itself is a safety issue. It's just a matter of time before somebody gets injured out there and they can't get out, and it's a problem too. I understand Island Timberlands, they have an issue with liability you know, if they got an issue with that, just put a sign up. You know, that's what they do elsewhere. Just you know, the man-made natural hazards, use at your own risk. That should take care. You know, I can't see that being an excuse. They're looking for excuses, right? That's one that they're going to come up with. That's one that they're going to use. So you know, that as far as I can see, that's a good solution there, right?
They're covered by the Occupiers Liability Act anyway, so that's a bullshit.
Yes, they're covered by that.
It's a lease. They don't own it. They're not liable.
I also understand I haven't seen the agreement, but the agreement in 2004 says that they have to provide access to the public. I understand.
That's it.
They're allowed to lock the gates only for 3 reasons. One is fire, safety, and to protect their equipment.
That's right.
So there's no need, number one, to lock the gate right there, right at the, we're standing at the main line. All the main gates they're locking. That's where I was locked out actually, is right. Comox Main, yesterday they locked the gate right at Comox Main.
I was there.
They're not putting any signs up. They're locking the main gates. They don't need to lock them there. They can lock them out by their equipment. They're locking everybody out just for what? For what reason?
Why do they lock this gate but not on the other side? Why is this gate always locked? Cook Horn's wide open.
Exactly. Why locking Port Alberni? They've got reasonable reasons to lock the gate, but they're, you know, they don't need to, they don't need to lock the main lines. They can lock at their local area.
As well, they wouldn't allow the city of Parksville to access their dam at Arrowsmith Lake. They asked the Snowmobile Club to help them get access, and they denied access. So currently, the city of Parksville is unable to get to their water supply.
There's many others, like the Boy Scout camp out at Great Central, Mount Arrowsmith up here, and they're all behind these gates. You can't get to any of this stuff. And
What about Wilmar Lake? Beautiful lake. You know, can't get to it either on the way to Comox.
The largest park in British Columbia, the first park ever established, Strathcona Park. We can't get to that park because we have to go through locked gates.
That's bullshit. That's a government.
That's right. That's a provincial park, which we're not allowed to access.
Yeah.
It's got to be dealt with.
No, they can't lock that. That's everybody's here. Everybody, especially who's lived here, paid taxes. That's grandfathered access.
correct.
The government can tear up that old log train trail, the old tracks. They can take the whole thing up, but you can't deny the public grandfathered access into the park that we pay taxes on. That's our park.
Well said, Brad.
I want to say one thing just on, my name is Chris Alamany, City Councillor, City of Port Alberni. The city has one major concern, and that's diversifying the economy. We can't diversify the economy if people are being locked out from their economy. As a family man, I have kids. We like to go up to the Cameron Main and just have fun in the backcountry. You know, we go sliding, we go sledding. We couldn't do that because we couldn't get past the Cameron Main gate. I've never seen that gate closed ever in my entire life. Ever. So that cannot stand. We as a city, the city of Port Alberni we are basically powerless. This is something the province has to fix. The province has to do something for communities on this island if we are going to diversify our economy and have people enjoy their lives in this amazing region. That's all I have to say about it, but it's amazing how many people are here. This is an incredible turnout. I hope we can get some traction with the provincial government. We need your help as the city, as the regional district. We need your voices there as well.
Get away with it. If I break the law right now, I guarantee you I'd be walking away out of here in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Never a problem in the normal place when they get arrested or get in trouble with the law. When it's big corporations, it just seems to get swept under the rug, right? I also have a really deep concern about our watershed that is part of that road network out there. Will we be able to get access to that watershed as a city? What's happening in that watershed as far as logging? All of the access gates that are happening up there are making it
difficult for us to get up there and know what's happening in our watershed so that we have safe water to drink. Otherwise, we're going to have a $40 million water filtration plant to build. And that's not our fault. That's because those trees are being cut down in places we can't see because we can't get access to them. It's about the forest companies having more power than the public. The public has the power. The public has to be here. They have to be listened to.
Who says go and enjoy your forest. Go here. That's a joke.
Well, all the other provinces have right of access legislation. We don't have right of access legislation.
Although they've got this written into this this sweetheart deal. That was one stipulation. Two stipulations for that. Don't log McLaughlin.